sit rep. It's Saturday night. It's
hopefully not.
nice. It's Saturday night. It's on. Avon and I are being cheeky. We're skipping the team dinner. Matt and the Smiths are getting into the rental. Mick's getting ready to go as well. They're emptying the toilets behind me, so it smells terrible. But good news, for as bad as it smells, the vibes are good. Because we've diagnosed an issue with the car. The cams in there are for the automatic motor, and we found a man who's given us, sold us a set of manual ones, and we're hoping that can give us more horsepower, so the Green Meanie can be mean. More to come. In my infinite wisdom, I didn't record the first race from Saturday, but it doesn't matter because this was more interesting. In the week between Levels and Teretonga, Avon had rebuilt his engine, but it turns out that the automatic transmission cams are different from the manual ones, and that costs you a little bit of power. So after the last race and a little bit of an adventure around Invercargill, we bought some replacement parts and started putting the green machine back together. We worked a little bit late into the night, but we called it relatively early to ensure that we could get a good night's sleep, but we didn't check the weather report. This is the scene that we got back to when we turned up first thing in the morning. We realized the gravity of our mistake, and we needed to retime the engine, and here's where I'll give it back to on the day of a run.
Okay, sit rep. It is an hour from our first race, so about 8:15 in the morning. Avon and I got here at 7. The tent is absolutely stated. So we rolled around until we could find somebody to beg and let us use the scrutineering shed. Took off the hat on the gazebo, wheeled that thing in, and Mick and Avon are currently now trying to retime Avon's engine that we got wrong in the night. We packed it in, not realizing that it was going to be like 100k wins overnight, and now we're paying for it. So Avon is racing to get his car put back together. I'm hiding in the rental car. I'm building up the courage to get changed, and we're all in various states of disarray. Mike's Ranger, who's left the track, is probably getting some breakfast and thinking about the best and most efficient way to kill Avon and I for ruining his tent. Sorry, mate. Yeah, race cars, I said. Minter, glamorous, yeah. Fuck.
First cab off the rank, I took advantage of a still wet track and used a couple of burnouts to warm up my car. If you wanted to know how the effort went, I'll let the audio take over. Avon, Mick and the rest put in a legendary effort and got Avon onto the grid. It was a marble draw race for the first on Sunday. I managed to draw P2, was a little bit nervous. But as you can see, we got away clean. Managed to pull a gap on Mick and dance our way into turn 1. Pretty nervy times when you're running at the front of the pack on a wet track. I'd like to think that I was pretty confident in the wet, what with all the crime I used to commit as a kid, but something about Teretonga was another level of scary, so I found myself pretty timid driving out in the front, just trying to keep it clean and try and find the grip. You're conscious all the time that the cars behind are kind of using you as a benchmark, so if you come a cropper, they get to reference that and kind of take an advantage. And as we storm down into the last turn, you can see it gets really sketchy indeed. just get my braking done, turn in, come in just a touch hot and get really untidy. And that'll give Matt in behind the run to get past me pretty easily on the following lap. Jumping straight into race 2, you can see I get another gun start off the line. I've beaten Matt pretty cleanly and I managed to chop across. My goal here is to kind of follow Dom as best I can. Following these boys, it's definitely the fastest I've ever gone, especially relative to my own. Through corners like this one, I was really focusing on getting as good an exit as possible so I could try and stay in Dom's toe and follow him through. Fair to say, I was pretty laser focused and tunnel visioned on his brake lights. That'll become very important later. So at this point I'm 100% referencing off Dom's car in front, definitely tunnel visioned. And if you spot the plot twist first, that is a chocolate fish for you. But following Dom's line, I was all focused on trying to stay that inside line, and here is where here is where I thought that having windshield wipers would be a really mean idea. The view was pretty tragic in the car, and I genuinely thought poor Jamie had bogged down and that was the cause of him lifting, but through all of this I was looking in the wrong direction and just focused on following Dom. And it's not until here where you see my hand go up that Dom and I noticed the safety car lights. And for you eagle-eyed people at home, you already know that Dom and I are criminals. So we pulled up for the safety car. Here's where you see us releasing, and that sets the rest in the race in motion. So at this point, I believe that I'm in P2 on merit behind Dom. We're all blissfully unaware that we are villains, evil creatures, and we should have our licenses taken off us, but with that context, we'll watch the rest of the race. So I think we made it through 2 racing laps before the safety car. We did lap 3 under the safety car and restarted at lap 4, so after this lap there's 2 laps to go, and at this point I'm 100% just trying to throw the grappling hook out into Dom's car and sit in his toe and run away from the people I wanted to get away in the championship, which is Michael Harcourt and some others. Here we see a heroic move from Jamie, and we didn't know it was because the red mist had come over, because we are still unaware of our crimes. All we know is he's looped it in front of us, and that is a very scary moment. but because of our previous betrayal, poor Jamie would fall out of the group with that spin finish. I think it was second to last. And at this point, Dom and I are high on adrenaline, and we're convinced that we're the greatest racing drivers to ever take the track. Imagine our surprise when we came back in and people mentioned the safety car light being on from turn 1, and the two of us going, "What do you mean turn 1?" We didn't see this vision until after our race and outside of the window where you can sort of report yourself to the CRO. So it was a pretty sobering moment. We went from the highest highs to pretty low lows, and we realized just how naughty we'd been. I think the only slack I would give Dom and I is at that part of the track, the safety car lights are pretty far offline. They can be pretty, well, evidently they're hard to pick up, and also my windshield was really messy, and I couldn't see, and I was focused on Dom, so that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. But what we'd done once we realised our efforts to kill the vibes is we went and saw Karen, who helps us on the ground when we're running the series, and we asked if we could start race 3 from the very back. When they asked us why, we sort of sheepishly said, "Don't worry about it." But because it wasn't picked up during the race, and because we'd missed our window to do it all officially, and also likely because I didn't want to lose my license, that was the meet in the middle that we came to. Jamie was far too cool about it, and so was his dad. So Jamie, specifically, if you're watching this, you're a legend. It's just a shame that we had to be fools about it, because right up until the moment we knew what we did, I was really happy with this drive. I was able to keep touch with Dom, sort of threaten him, very respectful of him to defend. I was never going to launch an attack on him, but we took it to the line, and then took our medicine. If there was one thing I was really happy with my over this weekend, it was my starts. I always seem to get away fantastically. Avon's still a little bit down on power with the new cams. Helped to push it through, and that would turn out to be a very good decision as Mike gets super spicy loose. This was a super fun race from the back. Made a couple positions off the start, and then we would settle in and get ready to fight with the great man. If you made it this far, yes, you are seeing it right. I am back to my old tricks and using the tow rope to get Dom to drag me around the track quicker than I could on my own. stuff like this really shows how strong the toe can be. Like, now that I'm sitting in a slipstream, it's like a huge boost to get past. I don't know if I touched them there or not to help push them clear of Mike, but I definitely benefited from that little exchange and getting a good run out of the last turn, and now I can settle into my rhythm and follow the guy. I think this was maybe one of my favourite laps in terms of my driving. Like, in the front straight, it definitely looks like he pulled a decent gap that I was able to crawl back, and maybe that wasn't all down to the toe. Like, I seemed to get a really good turn one under my belt, and I always seem to be pretty decent in those like higher speed flowy sections. But yeah, for whatever reason this race I definitely wasn't as sharp on that last turn. You can see him starting to run away a little bit, so wasn't optimizing my exits on that front straight. But yeah, if there's one thing I love about these racing series is like, even if, like, regardless of what position you're in, you seem to learn a lot every time you go out, and that alone seems to be a pretty good excuse to stay in it. A little tentative getting on the power through turn one there, just took a couple stabs at the throttle, but yeah, this drive was, I mean, the reason I'm showing it in full is because it was a lot of fun in the car. Just definitely did a lot to restore the vibes after the crimes committed in the previous race. As we get into the end of the lap, and indeed the end of this race, nothing much will change, but I didn't really shoot enough on track to make it worth it. You can see Dom's really making the last attack. He's going to get Avon at the line. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see from the track. Give me an idea of what I should be shooting once I'm in the events. It's kind of hard to think of stuff when you're in the moment. But if you made it this far, thank you very much. Hope you had fun, and guess I'll see you on the next one.